reports of Otani's interpreter. He was fired because of theft, and now there's like rumors of him gambling, or like like Otani's team don't want to say nothing. So everything's changing very fast. Every time I turn on the social media, there's a new update, right? So
Yeah,
like
that's true.
even just from today, like this morning, I was hearing Dodgers reporters. They were saying like, oh, the Major League won't they won't do their own private investigation. But this afternoon, you text me saying like,
Yeah.
oh, Major League is gonna do their own private investigation. I was like, whoa, man, this is changing, right? So this could be a big thing, or this could be like nothing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Sliders. I'm Almar, and we have Armando over here, and let's talk baseball.
Once again, this is a pre-recorded show. We record this either on Friday or Saturday night. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so to our YouTube channel. Click subscribe and like the button so it will help us get more fan base. Thank you.
All right, let's get to it.
Let's go around the bases with the latest news around baseball. And let's start with Blake Snell watches over. He signs a 2-year contract for 62 million with an option out after the first year. I'll touch more about it when I give the Giants update. But the watch is finally over after all summer, all winter. I mean, all winter and spring. Like the watch, every, everybody was asking what's going on, why he's not signing with any team. But it's over, and
Well,
let's go. Go.
that's good news for you, eh? You got your wish list.
Yeah, it's actually really exciting, right? Like because every Giants fans and Giants fan was like in the winter, like in the early spring, was everybody saying like there's no reason why the Giants can't make this all these signings, right? They have the budget. They have the budget as like and they made the moves that they needed to in order to compete. But I'll touch more about it when I give the Giants update.
Sounds good.
So the South Korea series, it was a big hit. Both Dodgers and Padres split the series. It was actually the second game was a very entertaining. It was a high scoring affair,
Yeah.
but the Padres pulled it off. It was great. But actually, it's a little scary because the Dodgers spent a lot of money on the pitcher, and he didn't even last one. He lasted one inning.
Yeah, he lasted one inning. So yeah, it goes to show how baseball season is all about. Hey, Dodgers, they were able to win the first game after falling behind early, but the second game they were not able to do the same on the second game, right? Losing 15-11. So there's no 162-0 season for the
Right,
Dodgers.
but it's only first game, right? Obviously, there was first game jitters, right? Like it's kind of like, but when you sign a player for that much money, like I'm pretty sure people are sweating right now. Like the pitcher, he's probably asking himself, like, can I pitch in the major leagues now, right? Like
Yeah.
his agent, the
Yeah,
Dodgers are saying like, oh, what if this doesn't work out the way? I'm pretty sure they're sweating, right? Because that's a lot
yeah.
of money.
But pitching will settle down.
Yeah.
Maybe some jitters, like you said, with Yamamoto. But the most concerning one is Muncy's two errors in Game Two. I It might be the Dodgers' Achilles heel this season. Hey.
That is true. The infield is very sketchy because Betts is moving to shortstop, right? Which is kind of like whoa, like that's a big, very eye opening. But now they're talking about like, well, Otani can pitch, but maybe he can play first base. So like obviously there's some concerns of
Yeah.
the Dodgers infield, and it could be their Achilles heel all season.
Yeah.
But like it's first game, I'm sure like Yamamoto will settle down, right? Like baseball's a long season.
Yeah. It's a
I
long,
like,
long season. So
and he's coming over, from the Japan's league over to Major League. it's gonna happen, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not too very concerned. Dodgers will be fine at the end of the season.
Well, with being a Giants fans, eh?
Yeah, but this series actually came into a controversy because there's been reports of Otani's interpreter. He was fired because of theft, and now there's like rumors of him gambling, or like like Otani's team don't want to say nothing. So everything's changing very fast. Every time I turn on the social media, there's a new update, right? So
Yeah,
like
that's true.
even just from today, like this morning, I was hearing Dodgers reporters. They were saying like, oh, the Major League won't they won't do their own private investigation. But this afternoon, you text me saying like,
Yeah.
oh, Major League is gonna do their own private investigation. I was like, whoa, man, this is changing, right? So this could be a big thing, or this could be like nothing.
There's
Like in
nothing.
2 weeks, right? So
Well, like you said, this is a major news for baseball. Otani's interpreter was fired by the Dodgers, like you said. As per reports from Jeff Passan, like a day or two ago, 4.5 million was transferred to an account that was being federally investigated. That's what I read from the news, right? So we can't say anything much as we are
yeah,
basing everything to what the news say. So whether or not Otani was involved with his interpreters gambling. That's remains to be seen. For now, MLB, like you said, it's changing. MLB not investigating, and then
yeah.
MLB is investigating now. So we just hope, for the sake of the game and Otani, that Otani is not involved with gambling, right?
But obviously, this can it's gonna change, right? But it's kind of like Major League Baseball has always been against betting.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like at one point they're gonna have to kind of be more flexible because the A's are moving to Vegas, which is gambling center of the
Yeah.
world, right? Their players or visiting teams are going to be exposed to all these gamblings, right?
Yeah,
So they just can't be like, oh, there's no gambling. It's like, well, there's going to be some type of gambling,
that's
right? So
true.
it's kind of like you're having a team in Vegas, so obviously you're inviting it. So, but we'll see what happens. Good news for the Yankees: Aaron Judge was back in the lineup.
That's
Uh,
good.
he homer on the first game back. He said afterwards he feels good. He's ready to go for the season. So I'm pretty sure that's a relief for the Yankees and Yankees fans. And across the city, the Mets was able to finalize a 1 year deal with DJ Martinez. I
Yeah,
like this move.
JD Martinez. Holy, I don't know what happened to Boras this year.
No, like I actually like this deal for the Mets, and for DJ had a good season last year for the Dodgers. Like it was,
33 home runs
yeah,
last
like
year.
and he went this long without. Obviously, there's the Boras controversies. Like I think there's a lot of owners were kind of holding him captive after years of kind of squeezing everybody, right? But I like this move for the Mets after a disappointing last season.
Yeah,
Spending all that money and then they were sellers at the trade deadline. I like this move. And
yeah,
once again, he had a good season. He shouldn't waited this long to have a deal. So, but he signs a 1 year deal at a very favorable contract, only 12.5 million. So
yeah.
it's
Twelve
really
point
good.
five million, 4.5 this year, and then everything deferred. Like 1.5 million each year from 2034 to 2038. That's what I read.
Yeah, it's really great. So, but I
Yeah.
like it. I like it for the Mets.
Hmm.
So that's it about this week's announcements. Well, news around the league. Uh, let's give let's give a Giants update. Blake Snell signs with the Giants, a 2 year contract. He has the option to opt out after the first year. Um, this is great. It kind of changes everything for the Giants. This is great. It actually had changed the mood in Giants baseball quite a bit. From the front office, from the managers, the players, fans, writers, media, like everybody's just excited about this.
Yeah, like you
And
said on the first episode, right? If Blake Snell signed with the Giants, it goes from 88 win to 90 wins.
I do think it's a low 90s um, season. I do think. And we know we know we can't compete. Like no, and I have to kind of give a little backlash to the mainstream media of baseball. No one is. Everybody's saying like, yeah, it's a good sign in, but they still won't win the division. This is not saying we signed Blake Snell and now we're gonna win the division. That's not what
Yeah,
this signing means. This signing is saying the Giants will be competitive in 2024. They want to make the postseason, and this is a sign that they want to win. Let's not forget that last year it was two wild card teams that made the World Series with Arizona and Texas. They were
and
wild card
yeah,
teams, right? So the Giants are building this team around pitching and defense. Now they're now they're deep into pitching. They're loaded. The Giants have options, and now they're saying like we can compete now in the world in the playoffs. And as soon as you get into playoffs, it's like it doesn't
it's
matter if you
everybody's
win.
game.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter if you who wins the division at that point, right?
yeah,
Right. So it's like everybody's saying like, oh, the Giants won't win the division. It's like, well, yeah, like the Dodgers are the favorite on
yeah,
paper because they can all have an injuries and they can
yeah,
have a setback, right? So, but this is actually it's just a good sign. I think last week with the Padres signing, it kind of put the pressure on the Giants in order to compete in the National West. They needed to make this move, and it was
yeah.
great because now there's an excitement around the clubhouse. Now everybody's like, okay, now we definitely can win now, and it's
and,
gonna
and
be
you
fun, right?
and you get the reigning Cy Young and the
Yeah,
reigning
exactly.
runner up, right?
Exactly, and yeah, like now there's a 1-2 punch with Webb and Snell, and so it was great. It's just been
Yeah,
great this week. Now there's like, it just means like it just puts us from like competing for the third or second wild card. Now it kind of says like, okay, we can compete for the first wild card spot.
yeah, that's
This is
true.
what this signing means, right? So it just puts us in the second tier, right behind Atlanta and the Dodgers. It just kind of this elevates to that second tier on top of it,
Yeah,
right? So now we can be competing against the Phillies for that first wild card spot, second tier, who has the best chance, right, to knocking off Atlanta or the Dodgers.
yeah. I'm happy for the Giants and Blake Snell, and I'm
Yeah.
happy that Blake Snell didn't end up with the Yankees.
So it was good. It was I'm excited as a Giants fan, and I think every Giants fan they can feel the excitement. We're ready for baseball to start now, right? So we're just
Yeah,
a week away. So this is great. But like I think he's scheduled to pitch this Sunday in a minor one of our minor league.
yeah,
So he's scheduled to pitch a couple of innings. So like there's no date now when he is going to be available for the Giants rotation. There's different rumors out there. He could be pitching in the second series against the Dodgers in LA. So that could be, but that's kind of fast. But we'll see.
yeah. But
That's still up to date.
he was throwing on the side, right, before
Yeah,
he got
but
signed.
there's a
So
there's a difference between like kind of throwing on the side or just throwing sessions. But when live batting, it's different, right? You have to
yeah,
condition yourself, right? So, but he's a professional. He's 30 years old. He's been pitching for a lot of years. So I'm pretty sure he has a routine, right? So, but it's exciting.
yeah,
Very exciting. Injury update. We talked about it last week with Cobb throwing. He starting to pitch earlier, which has been really great. He's a couple months ahead of schedule, but he actually this week he actually threw in a couple games.
oh, nice.
Yeah, so he pitched like a couple innings. So like and good reports. So he's ahead of schedule. So that's
That's
very
great.
exciting. That's very exciting. So we could be this Giants rotation with Blake Snell and Cobb coming back, and it's a top five pitching rotation to start the season.
Yeah,
So it's really good on paper, right? So obviously the season can start and anything can happen or injuries or setbacks, right? So and then we were talking about the Giants infield updates. The Giants have not committed, saying who's going to be playing short. But Lisiano, our top prospect, he has actually had a good week at baseball. Offensively, he has homer a couple of times this week. He's made some good plays. So the Giants have asked him to do kind of work on things, and he's responded well. So it's turning into a competition all the way to the end. So it's
That's
really
good.
great.
That's good. That's
Right.
good for Luciano then.
So yeah, so Lisiano, like we'll see what happens. We still think Nick will win the job just because of his all spring training. He's been playing great, but we'll see what happens, right? So and that is it for the Giants update.
Well, that's very good news for the Giants then that you're going to get Cobb really soon, and then you'll have Robbie Ray at towards the summer, right? So your rotation will look good if everyone gets healthy, right?
Yeah, and like one more thing, like because it just happened, like when Blake Snell happened on Tuesday, and everything like the internet broke for the Giants fan, right? So, but on Monday there was reports that some of our top prospects pitchers were actually going to become the fifth starter now, right? That was the
Yeah,
report on Monday, and like it was like okay, now like people, Giants fans were excited, just like okay, a rookie is going to make the opening day roster. So that's great. Like, but then Tuesday came, Snell signed, and everything is like so. Like those top prospects' arms, which they have had great spring, they're probably most likely they're going to be sent down, which is not a bad thing. This
mhm.
Blake Snell's signing just means like, hey, they can have at least one more year to
That's true.
improve, to give them time to get them ready for next year, right? So if like Snell opts out, if he has a great season and he opts out, so more money, it just gives our prospects more time
That's
to
true.
improve, right? So
It helps everyone. It helps everyone along the way, right? Long term.
exactly, it's the long term, right? Because
Yeah,
there was a youth movement happening like the last couple of years, and all of a sudden this Giants team becomes a veteran team all of a sudden,
yeah.
right? So like it's great. It helps everybody.
All right, let's move on to our Blue Jays update. On Wednesday, Jays traded utility infielder Santiago Espinal to the Reds for right-hander Chris McElvain. This narrows down the remaining roster spots for the Jays. So Ernie Clement, who is out of option and playing well this spring, so he will probably most likely get that spot. And I will be surprised if he doesn't. Jays need to bring in a catcher with Jansen still injured. And then we shall see if the Jays plan to carry both Vogelback or and Votto to Toronto. But I have not heard any updates on Votto's ankle after he apparently stepped on a bat in the dugout after that first inning, which he homered by the way. So he's batting 1,000 right now.
Oh man, and it was exciting to see that the homer, right? So like, and
Yeah,
I think everybody was just so happy to like the fans at the stadium, even the posting, right? Like once again, Votto is a fan favorite. And
yeah.
even the announcer were just so happy. He was happy, like right. So it was a great signing, and it's just
That's true, yeah. And he wrote a letter to Toronto fans and Canada fans, eh? That was great. So yeah,
yeah,
because
it's
yeah, he said something last year about another pitcher when he threw a no hitter. It didn't go well with the baseball fans here in Canada, but he wrote like 3 pages of letter, like a heartfelt letter to the fans, which is great. And next one is Barrios is set to start for the opening day for the opening day for Toronto with 1 week to go, and then seems like it'll be Barrios, Bassett, Kikuchi, and Bowden Francis for that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that fifth starter in the rotation is still up for grabs. So we'll see towards the end of the week on who's going to be the fifth starter for the Jays with Kevin Gossman not scheduled to start in the first series, and then Alec Manoa is still recovering too, right? And with a few days to go, It's go time. That's my Blue Jays update for this week.
All right. Well, since we have a week to go until baseball starts, let's give our predictions for the season. Let's give our division winners, our pennant raisers, our Cy Young MVPs
So
award.
this is our predictions for the entire year, right?
Correct. This is our bold prediction or
How bold
award
will you
winners.
go? How bold will you go?
No, we'll see. All right, let's go. For the American League East, I got the New York Yankees winning the division. For the Central, I got Minnesota. And with the West, competitive West in the American League, I actually got Houston winning the division. I
Mm.
feel that this is actually, they're getting older, but I feel they still have enough to actually compete. My wild card teams, I got Seattle, Toronto, and Baltimore for the
Oh.
wild cards. My American League pennant, I got Houston versus the Yankees.
Ooh.
uh, the American League champions, I got the Yankees winning it. I got them going to the World Series. My MVP, I have Vlad winning it. This is actually a good opportunity because Shohei has been kind of like stealing it. There's been kind of controversies, like because he's a both a two-way player, so he's gonna like. So I just think like Vlad potential every year of triple crown.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
he has a good chance of winning the MVP this year. And for my Cy Young award, I got Pablo Lopez from the Twins.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And for the National League, I got Atlanta winning the division. Central, I really think them. It's right open that division, but I think Milwaukee has the what they're pitching arms and reloading and calling some prospects to the big leagues. I think they have the shot to win in the division. And the National West got the Dodgers. And for the wild card spots, I got the Giants, Philly, and Arizona. Do think the National League West, will be represented with three players from that division. I mean,
Mm.
three teams from that
Three
division.
teams, yeah.
Yeah. My pennant, I got Atlanta versus the Dodgers. They're the best two teams in the National League. They're deep, they're loaded, they have star power. It's gonna be, it will be fun to see that competition all year long.
Yeah, that's true.
My champions coming out of the National League, I got Atlanta. I think Atlanta is just everybody's in their prime.
Yeah,
They're deep. They're deeper than the Dodgers. Um, they just have a better all around deeper team.
yeah.
My MVP, I got Matt Olson. I think Matt Olson has been quiet. He's a quiet guy in general,
Yeah,
but I just think
he
like
is.
right. So like he's not, but he just keeps improving. I think this is 3 seasons in a row. He has hit over 40 homers, 100 RBIs. He just doesn't get the publicity like other stars do, but I
Yeah.
think he's gonna have a great season. I think he's the MVP. And for my Cy Young award, I got Zach Gallen from Arizona. I
Oh,
think he's
okay.
just coming into his own. He's getting improve every year, and I just think he's probably going to be the face for the pitchers. Cy Young every year going forward. I think he's just coming into his own.
Well, there's no bold move, bold
Yeah,
predictions there.
no, I got no, I got Alana winning the World Series. That's my
Oh, nice. Mm, interesting, interesting. Here's my American League picks. East, I have Orioles winning that division, like I said on our first episode, and I'm not changing that. Central, give me the Royals. This is a hard one as any team can grab that division. I like to pick underdogs, so give me the Royals there. West, I am sticking with the Rangers. I have I have seen Mariners as a dark horse, and I'm not putting it past them to even win that division. But as my pick, I have the Rangers for the West.
I think it's Seattle, what they have done in the offseason, loading their pitching staff. And they've been kind of in mark, like the last couple of years, like making the playoffs and then missing out. It's just
Yeah,
been so tight. I just think they have the experience now, and that team has been playing together for a couple of years. I think is their year.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they're my dark horse for the West. For the wild cards, I got the Jays, Astros, and the Mariners. For the AL supremacy, brace yourself. I'm picking the Jays versus the Rangers. Call me biased, but I'm calling it as it is. Jays have a widespread of outcome, right? They can fall flat on their faces or they can win it all. So I hope it is the latter there.
I do think that the Jays have enough to make the playoffs, right? But I just think I see them as the same way as Arizona last year, when they got more deeper, they just didn't have the back end.
Yeah,
Right, Arizona had the 1-2 punch of starters, but the third or fourth or fifth starters they just didn't have enough to win. Right, so
yeah,
I just think that's the same thing for the Jays. Like after their third pitcher, like who's going to be the fourth or fifth, right?
that's true. Yeah.
Or the bottom lineup, like for Toronto, right? So it's kind of like who's going to be 6 through 9? Who's going to be those
Yeah, the
bottom of the
difference
lineup?
maker,
Where
right? The
the different
difference
makers. So
maker.
I think the top of the lineup. I think Vlad and Co. They're good enough to make a run, but I just don't think they're deep enough
Yeah.
to go deep, right? So I think
Yeah,
that's the
that's true.
difference
Yeah.
between. I think that's the difference between like Toronto, like the Yankees who are deep this year, right, and pitching,
Yeah. hmm
right? So or Houston or Seattle, right? So,
Yeah,
but they're up there.
Seattle will be there. It'll be tight on the in the AL there. But yeah, like I said, they have a widespread of outcomes that can happen. Like everyone can get injured on every team. There we can say that we can predict that. So
And let's not say like the last couple of years, the American League wildcard races have been excited, right? Like, it's been
yeah,
going to the last games of the season, right? Like I think, right? So it's kind of like it's been exciting, and I think it's going to be the same thing this year, right? So, unfortunately, there's gonna have to be some teams who misses out, right? Like
that's
I
true.
think
Yeah,
Seattle missed out last year.
yeah.
They're
On
just
the
like
last
wanna, yeah,
on
on
the
the
last
last game,
day.
right? So, like I think with Baltimore now being improving. So I
Yeah,
just think the Yankees, Toronto, or even Tampa Bay, it's one of those teams are going to have to miss out of the playoffs.
that's true. Yeah, but hopefully the Jays can make it, right?
But I like your pick. I like the
Hey,
Royals, right?
hey,
I
hey,
like
you
your
said
pick.
bold. You said bold prediction, right?
I was going back and forth between the Tigers and Minnesota. And so I just think, the Tigers, on paper, they look good. On paper, Minnesota should win. They should
Yeah, they
win
should.
the
Yeah.
division, right? But we'll see what happens. And um, like I said, my Cy Young award with Lopez, he's improved every
hmm
year so far, and I think he's going to improve more. So that's why I give the edge to Minnesota.
And then yes, to continue on for my pick for the AL MVP, Aaron Judge with yet another monster year. Like you said, no more show on AL, so it'll be anybody's game, right? In the MVP, but I'm picking Aaron Judge.
And that's what I think. It's kind of like it took Judge to hit 60 plus home runs to win the MVP.
That's true.
Players in the American League needed to have this like unreal season to win the award from Shohei, right? So if
Yes,
he's gone this year, I think it's gonna balance it out for other players.
that's true. And then for my Cy Young, Garrett Cole and Kevin Gossman is slated to miss the start of the season, so that puts them behind the curveball for this. But if they can come back healthy, it'll be a close call. But I'm going with Bailey Ober of the Twins. He plays in the Central against the Tigers and the White Sox, so time to rack up those strikes. strikeouts.
I like it.
Yeah, and then let's go for my NL picks. Are you ready for it? So for the East, give me the Braves. Give me the Braves there. So Central, I go back and forth with this one, but I'm sticking with the Cardinals there. West, if I do not pick the Dodgers here, all hell will break loose. So I'm picking the Dodgers here for the West. For your wild cards, I have the Giants to show some love to you. Give me the Phillies and the D-backs to round up the wild cards there. For the pennant, I have the Dodgers over the Braves, which we have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have the same there. And then with the NL being won by the Braves, I think, like you said, they have a deeper pitching staff where compared to the Dodgers. That's why I'm going with the Braves here. For your NL MVP, no doubt, still be a Shohei Ohtani show. So it'll be his to lose there for the MVP there in the NL. For your Cy Young, Spencer Strider of the Braves seems to be locked in for this one, but I'm taking Tyler Glasnow of the
Okay.
Dodgers there. He has similar stuff with Strider. Then he gets that Dodgers offense for run support, so it'll be good for Tyler Glasnow to take that. So I'm picking him. And give me a second here. I'm just pulling up my notes for your World Series. So yeah, for your World Series there, like I said, let's rekindle that let's rekindle that 90s rivalry between the Jays and the Braves. Game 7 Classic. Game 7 Classic. Let's go, Jays. Make it happen.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we're pretty much on the same page with the National League,
Yeah.
with even our wild card picks. Atlanta, we feel the same way about Atlanta. But I also think I agree with you. The 90s rivalry, but I have the Atlanta and the Yankees.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. But we pretty much have the same picks for the NL. So
Do you have any wild cards or dark horses in the National League?
National League of maybe the Phillies. Maybe the
Phillies.
Phillies. Yeah, they were right there towards the
But
end
what
there.
about other teams outside like the Phillies, right?
Oh,
Because like we talked about like the American League, like teams missing out,
yeah.
so close to the last couple of games, right? Like it's been so competitive the last couple of years, but not really. You don't have that in the National League, right? Um,
Yeah.
I think last year, I think the Cubs were kind of like a couple games behind. The Marlins had improved, but they kind of lost some players. The Marlins did.
Yeah.
So, do you have somebody kind of like from the outside coming in?
Maybe the Cubs.
The Cubs.
I was looking at the Cubs there. Like I was going back and forth with the NL Central there. So if they can get close to the Cardinals, because Cardinals fell apart last year. So like I said, the Cardinals always had that winning mentality, but they weren't able to do it last year. But if Cubs can win that Central, maybe they'll have a chance.
Definitely, I feel the same way. I think if there's a team, I think it's going to come out of the Central,
Yeah.
National League Central.
You're not picking the Reds?
Not yet, right? They're excited. They were exciting last year. They were actually a couple games out of the wild card, right? So, but no, I just think there's other just teams who are better, right? So
Yeah. Well,
maybe,
great picks for both of us. I like your picks.
yeah. No, so it's no, it's gonna be exciting. Baseball's here, right? We
Yeah.
have a couple more days, and it's really great. So I always look forward to opening day. Well, thank you for watching another episode of Saturday Sliders. See you next week.
See you next week.